Okay, good afternoon. I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Public Works for April 9th, 2014. Roll call.
Val Gomez.
Present.
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Present.
Carla Morgan.
Present.
Okay. We have no minutes from the...
No.
No minutes? Okay. Okay, there are no previous minutes. Next on our agenda is correspondence. We have one correspondence from a Mr. Robert Willis, 4943 Melville, East Chicago, Indiana. 4945 Melville Avenue concerning parcel number 45-03-33-129-022-000-024. Let's see.
His correspondence first.
Oh, I'm actually... Do I have that? Oh, here it is. Oops. Okay, to the Board of City Works, from Mr. Robert Willis, dated April 7, 2014. I own my home at 4943 Melville Avenue, East Chicago. I live next to an open lot, 4945 Melville Avenue. The City of East Chicago owns this lot. People use this lot as a dump site for tires and furniture. The city comes and removes the debris. I cut the grass, pick up bottles and paper. I try keeping the lot clean. I have been doing this for several years. I want the board to consider giving me the lot. I want to put up a fence around the lot so people cannot use this as a dumping site. Sincerely, Robert Willis. Okay. Is that all the correspondence we have?
Yes.
Okay. That concludes our correspondence. We're going to move on to new business, but I'd like to move this item on to the added to the new business agenda so the board can address it. I'd like to ask our city attorney, Carla Morgan, on how we can proceed on this.
Okay. Looking at Mr. Willis's letter of interest, I looked up the law and drafted a response to him, which I'll just go ahead and read. It sets out what we need to do. This letter is in response to your interest in acquiring the property at 4945 Melville Avenue. As you're aware, the City of Chicago is the current owner of this parcel. Indiana Code 36-1-11-5 sets a procedure that the city must follow in order to sell parcels appraised at $15,000 or less, which this parcel would be. The provision requires the city to advertise a sale for an amount equal to the current appraised value and consider offers it receives within 10 days of the advertisement. After the 10-day period, the city may negotiate with an adjacent landowner who has made an eligible offer to purchase the tract. Thus, the city must advertise the property for sale before it could negotiate a sale of this parcel to you. We will notify you in regard to the timeline and any actions required on your part as we move through this process. And so that's the letter. It can either come from the law department or from the board, whatever you all prefer. But that's the procedure, and that's the response that we could send to them.
Okay, so I'd like to entertain a motion that we send this letter to Mr. Willis. If there's any, well, first, are there any comments or questions on? No. Yeah, and so I guess the motion would be that we agree to send the letter to him?
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we, as a board, agree to send Mr. Willis the foreread letter.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes. One note, at our next regular meeting, I'd like to get together the advertisement. And so at that time, I'll be asking for permission to advertise the sale of that parcel.
Okay.
So, but that's, you know, it's not, obviously not ready yet, so next time.
The next regular meeting?
Yeah.
Okay. Next on our agenda, we have opening bids for 2014 Main Street reconstruction and streetscape improvement project.
Can I open those? I've already opened it. First bid is from Hassey Construction. Address Lincoln and Plummer Avenue, P.O. Box 300, Calumet City, Illinois 60409.
Is that for Hassey?
Yes.
Chairman, just 1 minute.
Okay. Is there a 2014 Main Street?
The address you read, was
Yeah,
that?
it's like a Broadway address.
No, Lincoln and Plummer Avenue, P.O. Box 300,
No,
Kansas.
no, no. On here, opening bid, it says 2014 Main Street. Main Street, it's more like Broadway.
Main Street reconstruction, streetscape.
Also, the 2014 is just this, it's
That's
a
just a year.
project for this year.
Oh,
Not, okay,
okay.
it's okay.
Yes, Main Street reconstruction project.
Yeah, I actually was looking at it like a street.
Okay.
Okay, so it's opening bid for the year 2014, not 2014 Main Street.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay, for better. Finding the base bid. What criteria? Where is it? There you go. The base bid is for the total amount of $4,335,110.39, and the work criteria figure $4,268,349. No, 49 and 69 cents. 4,268,349 and 69 cents.
This was from Hassie?
That's the construction. Second bid is from Dreamer Construction, 2619 Main Street, Highland, Indiana, 46,322. The base bid is for $3,622,274.26. The worker trader figure is $3,566,491.24. The next bid is from Reed and Riley, 7500 West 5th Avenue, Gary, Indiana, 46406. Base bid $4,612,318.44, and the worker to figure $4,541,288.74. And the last bid received is from Wash McCauley, 1700 East Main Street, Griffith, Indiana, 46319. Base bid $3,802,856.56, and the worker material figure $3,723,757.15. that concludes the opening between engineering and the designer. We're gonna review the bid. I would like to call for a special meeting next Tuesday at 12 to award the project, make sure that the lowest is the most responsive bidder and they comply with all the requirements. So
that you're requesting a special meeting for Tuesday. What's the date on that? You said it's the 12th?
double check. The 15th,
15th? Okay.
12 p.m. here to make a recommendation.
Okay, so by that date, you'll have your recommendations and
Yes.
everything? Okay. Okay, so everybody in the audience, we're going to have a special meeting on the 15th at 12 o'clock at this same building, same room. Okay, next on our agenda, we have outstanding invoices. I believe these are all from the law department?
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
I can go one by one and explain each of them.
Okay.
So the first one is for attorney Alger Boswell. It's for an invoice that was dated November 28, 2013 for an invoice amount of $650. The reason why this is late being processed is there were two invoices sent in that for the same time period that had differing amounts on them. So we had to review that, see which one was valid. And so the law department is asking that this invoice for $650 be approved for payment. And the other reason why we have to get the board's approval is that it's a new calendar year, so we can't pay an invoice that's old without getting the board's approval.
Okay. Any questions on the invoice for Boswell Law Office?
No.
There be no questions on this invoice. I'll entertain a motion that we approve for payment for Boswell Law Office, the amount of $650.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Val Gomez?
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez?
Yes.
Carla Morgan?
Yes. Okay, so the next one we have is Parker Poe, Adams, and Bernstein. They did work for the city through Kroger Gardis. Kroger Gardis is the firm who was the primary firm that worked for the city on the litigation relating to Ameristar trying to challenge their tax assessment. Parker Poe was brought in by Kroger Gardis, and even though the litigation was settled last July, they did some work to wrap it up in the months of October and November. And again, we got these invoices late. They didn't send them in timely. So their 2013 invoices totaling $4,138.92, and we'd ask that the board approve paying them.
Okay. Any questions or comments?
Nope.
No, there be no further questions or comments. Entertain a motion to approve. Motion to approve for payment for Parker Poe, Adams, and Bernstein for the amount of $4,138.92.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Val Gomez?
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez?
Yes.
Carla Morgan?
Yes. Okay, this one is Frost, Brown, and Todd. Frost, Brown, and Todd had handled certain matters for us a year or so ago. There were a number of ins and outs with their invoices. One is they exceeded the not to exceed number in their contract that they agreed to when they originally were retained by the city. But there's a remaining $5,511.50 in the form of 3 invoices from last April, May, and June that we would ask the board to approve at this time.
Any questions or comments?
No.
There be no further questions or comments. Entertain a motion to approve from Frost, Brown, and Todd Law Firm the invoice for the amount of $5,511.50.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes.
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes. And the last one for today is Kroger Garrison Reedus. Again, they were the primary law firm on the casino's tax appeal case. They also do some other work for us, but their number of invoices, they usually bill us monthly, but they were checking on invoices for last year, and there were a number that they never mailed in. So there's one from March 21st, 2013, July 22nd, 2013, August 12th, 2013, December 16th, 2013, and then a current one for February 20th, 2014. The reason why we're asking for that last one to be approved is because it contained charges from 2013 that they should have billed in 2013. So for them, it's a grand total of $35,644.95. We ask the board to approve payment of. Again, our agreement with them is that they bill timely, but we still need to pay it, and even though we talk to them about it, they have to get on track with giving us timely invoices, but we still would like this approved.
Okay. Any further questions or comments?
No.
There being no further questions or comments, entertain a motion to approve for payment the invoice for Kruger, Gardis, and Rigas for the amount of $35,644.95.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, next on the agenda, we have...
You didn't do the vote.
Oh,
Okay.
you're getting quicker than I thought.
Val
Okay,
Gomez.
roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes.
Okay, next on our agenda, we have Valley Fire Protection System. Is this
That was in the new packet.
Yeah.
from Public Works?
Yes. There is representative from Public Works.
Oh, okay, I didn't see you. I didn't see that.
I didn't want to be here either.
Okay, can you, can you kind of enlighten us on what this project is?
I can enlighten you up until the point to where we got to where they made suggestions. They were hired to go in to inspect the fire system, fire alarm, and also to make sure that that the parts and everything was functioning properly. Upon them doing their inspection, they came back and said that there was a number of things that they felt like needed to be done. From my understanding, they were supposed to submit a proposal for what they felt as though needed to be corrected, and they were supposed to submit it into two forms. One form was supposed to be for the upstairs, and one was supposed to be for downstairs. I didn't want them to put both of them together because my understanding we might be doing some rehab upstairs, and then want to pay for something twice. Because if they did what they was planning on doing, they would have to come back and undo what they did in order for the system to work if we did any repairs upstairs. I have not had a chance to go over the proposal that they gave me, so at this time I'm really not ready to speak on whether we should accept this or we should go further with it. So if I had time to go over it, then I can probably give you a better idea of what's going on. Because the sprinkler system itself was recently installed like 7 years ago, five, just when the annex building just opened. So the bottom floor was actually done by a professional. So I don't know, I can't speak on this right now until I actually look at it and see what they got.
Is this the company that did the original work?
No, they're not the original company. They're not the company that actually did it before the annex building opened. No, they're not.
No, but we already approved the proposal at least for doing some work.
We approved a proposal for
inspect.
them to come in and
Right.
inspect the system.
Yes.
We did not improve, not from my
Right,
knowledge.
that's what I meant.
Yeah, we did approve, and they have been, from my understanding, they have been paid for work, for coming in and to inspect the building,
Who, the
which
ori-
was like $1,500 or something like that.
That was the original company came to inspect it?
Yes. They did it this year.
This is the same company that's giving us the proposal now.
Right.
Oh, so this is the original company,
Yes. I think that's what you were asking, right?
right?
Yeah. Now, you were here before. You presented proposal from this company. You recommended this company to start the process and inspect the building.
Actually, there was 3 companies that we dealt with, and out the 3, I felt as though they were the most competent ones to deal with, yes.
So because of the amount, the situation where we could just get quotes?
Yeah, you could get
That's what we're-
quotes.
And so you had 3 other companies we talked to, and this is the one we prefer?
This right here, Val, honestly, I don't feel as though we should do anything far as awarding or even taking it into consideration until I actually have had a chance to look at what they are proposing that they need to
Table it,
repair.
maybe.
Okay, so this is just more informational till you
This
get more?
is just a proposal from them that they recommend. I hadn't had a chance to see it.
Okay. So you recommend we just
Table it,
table it and
yeah.
wait till?
Next
you-
meeting. Maybe a special meeting we can include if necessary.
Would you prefer that we have this on agenda of our special meeting, which is this Tuesday at noon, or the meeting 2 weeks from today?
Tuesday at noon is fine. It's okay with me. I mean, that'll give me enough time to actually go over this and actually speak with them, and we can go from that point.
Okay, do you want to add it to the agenda of the special meeting then?
Yeah.
Okay. We don't have to make a motion or anything, we just,
Right, because you're tabling it.
yeah,
you don't
okay,
have-
we'll table this and we'll add it on to the agenda for the special meeting. Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have from London Whitney Group, Professional Services. This was brought to the Controller's Office by our financial advisor, Mr. Bennett. This is for the financial advisory services and annual continuing disclosure filings. Per the Controller's Office, this is something that we do annually concerning our bonds. And it's a requirement. So in effect, London Whitney Group, they will be retained as a financial advisor to assist the city with the annual continuing disclosure filing per the requirements of the continuing disclosure undertaking issued pursuant to Securities and Exchange Commission Rule 15C2-12, governing undertaking associated with various bonds issued by the city. The rule in part prohibits dealers from underwriting municipal securities unless the issuer has contractually agreed to make continuing disclosures associated with the bonds. So this is like an SEC requirement. And I think this is something we do annually because we submit these reports annually. Anybody have any questions on it? It's basically part of the duties that we do annually.
No questions.
No.
No? Any other questions? I entertain a motion that we accept the engagement letter from London Whitney Group for the financial advisory services, the annual continuing disclosure filings for the amount, let's see, fixed rate of $1,500 per year, beginning with the calendar year ending December 31st, 2014.
So move.
Second.
Roll call?
Val Gomez?
Yes?
Jethro Rodriguez?
Yes.
Carla Morgan?
Yes.
Okay, next on the agenda, we have Short Elliott Henderson Incorporated Professional Services.
Yeah, I can explain that. This is an agreement between the city, Waterworks, and SEH of Indiana to offer services for construction, inspection, for the Main Street streetscape or reconstruction project that we're gonna be awarding next week. I mean, there's attached to this agreement, there are a couple exhibits. Exhibit number C, you can see there's a letter describing the scope of work. Basically, they're gonna have an engineer full-time on site. Basically, they're gonna conduct a pre-construction meeting with the successful contractor and his subcontractors. Prepare pre-construction meeting minutes. They're gonna review subcontractor to verify they're properly licensed in Chicago, and review product submittals for compliance with contract documents. Going to provide construction inspection services, review and recommend approval of contractor pay application, communicate regularly with the city, prepare weekly status reports updating the city of Chicago the progress of the work, engage and schedule a geotech subconsultant to ensure structure are properly backfilled. Base of grade compaction requirements are being met. Prepare final closeout documentation, and also going to have a project manager on site and another inspector as needed. Total compensation for this service is $256,303. And is there any questions about this? I believe we have a representative from SEH here, just in case you have any questions, but I think I pretty much covered everything.
Any questions or comments?
Nope.
Okay. There be no questions or comments, I entertain a proposal that we agree, motion to agree for the professional services with Short, Elliott, and Hendrickson Incorporated for the Main Street reconstruction project for the amount of $256,303.
So move.
Second.
Roll call?
Bel Gomez.
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes.
Okay, next on our agenda is change order number 3 for an engineering building, parking lot, and fence replacement project.
Yeah, this is change order number 3, like you said, for the annex building. I mean, there's an attachment with a description of the additional work that was requested, and there are a couple items that are work that was not necessary. For instance, you know, there's a demo of ADA ramp. There was an additional square yard of demo. Concrete sidewalks, that's minus 15.6 square yards. In addition to that, we have we request to install loops on the north and south of the exit gate that were not on the plans. There was a force account work for removal of underground obstruction. There's a credit for brick delivery and winter protection. And finally, install a car reader at south gate of the building. The total amount of this change order is $4,694.69, and this reflects an increase of 16.4% of the original contract, so we're still under the 20%. And so, is there any question about this?
Have they started the project again?
They are planning to start and finish April 21st. So they're going to open the plant next week, but they're planning to mobilize their equipment the week after, and it will take maybe no more than 3 weeks to complete the project.
They're going to do the fence first or the paving?
No, they're gonna do the fence, the mill pave, and then
Then the
finally
fence?
install the fence. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I have no further questions. Any other
Nope.
questions? There being no other questions, I entertain a motion that we approve change order number 3 for the engineering building parking lot paving and fence replacement project for the amount of $4,694.69.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Bel Gomez.
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez. Carla Morgan.
Yes.
Okay, next we have amended number 2 for the reconstruction of Main Street, 3 blocks.
Yeah, this is an amendment from American Construction Point. Basically, this cover additional work, potential additional work for the Main Street project. They're asking for not to exceed $19,050. This is going to include post-letting services, RF requests for information, RFIs, clarifications or responses, and shop drawing reviews. Project meeting, max of 14 meetings. I don't think that we're going to need them to attend those meetings. So even that they're asking for 19, for a total of $19,050, I don't think we're going to need those services. So, but I'd rather, make a recommendation for the 19,000, and we don't need it. We don't need them. We won't pay them. So it's a $10,650 for RFI, short drawing reviews, and a total of $8,400 for project meeting, as needed. That was not part of the original scope of work, and we're almost ready to start this project. So this is something that I would like make a recommendation, but like I say, this is as needed. So
there's a possibility we won't need it,
yes,
but so we approve it in case we need it.
I'm anticipating like maybe like request RFI responses, like any question about the design, they have to clarify or send a response for any RFI. But as far as meetings, we don't. I mean, we're gonna have a CH on board, so we don't need those services. So.
Okay, but we need a motion to accept it, though.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
No.
Any other questions or comments? I entertain a motion for approval of amendment number 2 for the reconstruction of Main Street for the amount of $19,050. $10,650 is for RFI shop drawing review, and $8,400 would be for project meeting, maximum 14.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Bel Gomez.
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes.
Okay, next on our agenda, supplemental number 4, reconstruction of Main Street and Broadway.
This is another agreement, or supplemental agreement from Structure Point. In this case, this is for the Broadway reconstruction project, that we're gonna let hopefully next month. This agreement basically includes additional services. Originally, when we hired Structure Point, we hired them to design Main and Broad. Then we decide to, after they complete the drawings, plans, and specs, we decide to separate Main and Broad. Have just Main and then Broad. They were working on have just one project on Broadway. We had a couple issues with Broadway section especially right-of-way issues from Euclid to FER. So we decided to separate those projects and start the Deodore to FER this year, and hopefully this year or next year start the other section. So they're asking for a couple things. Separate the contract documents from Broadway from FER to Deodore. This includes plan and contract document revision, bidding and negotiation, post-letting services, RFI chart drawing review, pre-construction meeting, and project meeting, maximum 12 meeting. So total compensation $76,300 for all this work.
So you reviewed this and
Yeah,
so this work is required
it's necessary, yeah.
because of the changes that?
Yeah, because all the changes and I mean, it's not their fault, you know, we. So they will have to review the plans and separate the plans, and that require a lot of time, you know, a lot of effort.
Any other questions or comments?
No.
There being no questions or comments, I entertain a motion that we approve supplement number 4 for reconstruction of Main and Broadway for the amount of $76,300.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes.
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes.
Okay, next we have Resolution 2014-18, installation of park shelters and pavilions. I think we have someone to speak on that.
Good afternoon.
Now, this is a resolution, I'll read the resolution, resolution number 2014-18, a resolution of the Chicago Board of Public Works establishing a procedure as authorized by IC 5-22-6 for acquiring services for the installation of park shelters and pavilions acquired by resolution number 2014-16. Okay, if you could explain what this resolution covers?
This would be for the installation of the park shelters and pavilions that were purchased. And what we're looking to do is we would request quotes from these 3 companies, and hopefully, I mean, we would award that to the most responsible bidder. And these are companies that the equipment manufacturer recommended, so that we would not, I guess the question of they have warranties, so they can blindly say that these are companies that would do the job the right without compromising that.
Okay, so they have the expertise to put this equipment in.
Correct.
And company manufacturer will honor the warranties because they did the work.
Correct.
Okay.
So if we approve this, you'll solicit the quotes right away?
Correct.
And do you anticipate coming back to our next regular meeting to make the recommendation to the board?
I would probably ask for a special meeting so that it gets taken care of earlier than that.
We have a special meeting scheduled for Tuesday at noon. Is that too quick?
I was told to wait until this resolution passed before I did the 7-day sealed bid. If not, I would.
Okay, so you're required to have a 7-day.
Yeah, I'm required to have a 7-day sealed bid. I mean, sealed quote, sorry.
If you give them 7 days to submit a sealed quote, and then you need a few days to review it, you'd be at the date of our next regular meeting.
Yeah.
Next regular
Yeah.
meeting, the 23rd.
Yes.
Right.
You'll be prepared by the next regular meeting then, which is April 23rd.
23rd, 2 weeks from now.
Correct. The only one that I really think that I want to move forward quicker is the well, that's not this resolution, but for the playground equipment.
Okay, well, when we get to that
Yeah.
one, you can bring that one.
So yes.
Any questions or comments on this one?
No.
There be no further questions or comments, entertain a motion for the approval of resolution number 2014-18.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes.
Okay, that brings us to Resolution 2014-19, installation of playground equipment. Resolution of the Chicago Board of Public Works establishing a procedure as authorized by IC 5-22-6 for acquiring services for installation of playground equipment acquired by Resolution number 2014-14. You expound a little bit on this one?
This is pretty much the same thing. The company recommended these companies that they can say they would blindly recommend to do the work and to for their warranty purposes. And then this would be the resolution. This, if the resolution is approved, would be the one that I would request a special meeting since the equipment gets here the 15th and or 16th of this month. And we would like to start as quick as possible, being that there's 8 parks.
Would you have time for the next Tuesday meeting? Or are you required to put 7 days on this one too?
I am required to do 7 days, but I have contacted these companies already, and we've done a pre-bid meeting already. So they're fully aware of the time frame, and I'm pretty sure, if need be, they might be able to get these prices in by Tuesday for that meeting.
We could put on an agenda, and if not, we'll just take it up at the next meeting, right?
Okay.
Okay, so any questions or comments on this one?
No questions.
Okay, there be no question or comments, I entertain a motion that we accept resolution number 2014-19.
So move.
Second.
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes.
It brings us to City of East Chicago Board of Public Works Resolution number 2014-20. A resolution of the East Chicago Board of Public Works establishing a procedure as authorized by IC 522-6 for acquiring services for the installation of park fitness equipment acquired by resolution number 2014-15. So I imagine this is similar.
Correct, and this can wait till the next meeting in terms of the quotes. I mean, yeah, the quotes being opened.
And this is for fitness equipment, installing the fitness equipment,
Correct.
which we approved before. And this could wait till the next meeting? The regular meeting?
Yes, it can.
Okay.
May I ask when the next regular meeting is? 2 weeks from now?
No, Wednesday, 23rd, April 23rd.
2 weeks from now, the 20th.
Some 2 weeks from now. Yes, it should be fine.
Okay. Any questions or comments on this?
No.
No.
There be no question or comments, entertain a motion to approve resolution number 2014-20. Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes.
Okay, we come to resolution 2014-21, purchase of playground surfacing. Resolution of the Chicago Board of Public Works authorizing the public purchase of playground surfacing using a special purchase method authorized by IC 522-10. Can you give us some information on the
Yes,
type of surface and why we need a...
the surface is a rubberized surface that only specialty companies provide those services. The reason why we need this approved is because we have a Memorial Day deadline, and the surfacing along with the playground equipment it takes a while to do, and it's contingent on weather. And because we are during rainy season, things could be backed up, and what we don't want is to not meet that deadline. They're also providing us GSA pricing. So according to that statute stated, we can we can go and use this route in terms of purchasing that surfacing.
So explain, New Toys is who's giving us the GSA pricing, and is that true?
Correct.
Okay, and the Surface is actually a product of which company?
The surfacing is a product of Surface America.
Okay.
The if you I don't know, you should have a copy of the proposal from it's called
Excerpt play?
Extra Play, correct.
And this is for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is for 2, 4, 6, 8. These are our major parks, right?
Correct. It's the 8 that we accepted for playground equipment. And this company is using their GSA contractor number to give us that price.
Yeah, I notice on top, GSA contract number GS07F0440N. And is this put in before the equipment is put in or after?
This is put right after.
Right after.
The problem is that the surface needs to settle and it needs to dry, usually a week after it's installed, and then the people that installed the playground equipment then come back and clean up everything and fix everything to standard. And so that's where and the first coat that they actually put on the surfacing needs to be put a week prior. When it's done, they have to wait a week and then put the second cap the following week. And there's 8 parks, so they all can't be done at the same time.
I mean, I'm looking at the back page, it says the material is a combination of 3 inches thick and then a 4-inch thick subsurface on top of that?
It's 4 inches in total, but there's certain parks that have component equipment or components that have a different fall height. For example, if it's 12 feet in the air, it requires more of that surfacing versus something that is probably 7 feet or 8 feet. And that's where the discrepancy is.
Okay. And the amount is $243,968?
Correct.
Okay. Any questions or comments?
Nope.
There being no questions or comments, I entertain a motion that we approve City of Chicago Board of Works Resolution number 2014-21. Roll call? Oops, sorry.
So moved.
Second.
Call?
Val Gomez.
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I saw the audience growing and I kind of panicked. Okay, that brings us to right-of-way applications from the engineering department.
First application number 14-02171 is dumpster, location 3513 Hemlock Street. Description: dumpster will be placed at location 14-02172 dumpster, location 4002 Alder Street. Dumpster will be placed on 140th Street. 14-02173 location utility permit, location 3916 Pulaski. Remove and pour new 70 feet of sidewalk and 130 feet south of intersection of Pulaski 139. 14-02174 utility permit, location Euclid Avenue. Applicant NEPSCO permits to open Euclid Avenue for 8 inches gas main tie-in retirement in the effort to replace corroded let's stabilize 16 main for betterment and service and safety. 14-02175 utility permit, applicant Jacobs Engineering, location 4407 Railroad Avenue. Establish a new entrance exit onto the property from Railroad Avenue. 14-02176 heavy load permit, applicant LNL Transportation, location Middle Steel Facility, travel between Middle East and Middle West via Klein, Michigan Avenue 129 Dickey Road. 14-02177 heavy load permit, applicant, here is his, I don't even know how to say that.
I don't know.
Location Middle. Description: travel between Middle East and Middle West via Klein, Michigan, 129 Dickey Road. 14-02-178, heavy load permit, applicant L&T Trucking, location Middle, travel between Middle East, Middle West via Klein, Dickey Road, Michigan, and 129. 14-02-179, heavy load permit, applicant Union Express, description hauling via Dickey Road, Michigan Canal, Riley, and Indiana Harbor Drive. 14-02-180, heavy load permit, steel, applicant Steel Machinery Transportation, hauling via 129 Dickey Road, Michigan, block and SR 912. 14-02-181, heavy load permit, applicant Deutsche Bless Transport, location ISG plant number 2, hauling via Michigan Klein, Columbus Drive, and Dickey. 14-02-182, heavy load permit, applicant Red Hauling, description hauling Klein Avenue, Michigan Avenue, 129 Dickey Road. And the last one, 14-02-183, is utility permit, applicant NIPSCO, trimming trees and brush at various locations. I believe there's someone from Jacobs in the audience. I don't know if you have any question about the permit. They apply for curb cuts and entrance and exit on Railroad Avenue, so just in case he wanna be present here, so in case you have any question.
I don't have.
No, not really.
Okay.
The question I have is how to pronounce that name. I'm still
Yeah.
looking at it.
GRZ.
I never
know,
seen
it's a
like
typo.
there's 4 Z's in there and 2 Y's.
That's right.
Okay.
Okay.
That concludes all the application.
Any, no questions or comments?
No.
There be no question or comments, entertain a motion from the board for approval of the Board of Public Works permit applications number 14-02-171 through 14-02-183.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes.
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes.
Okay. Is there any old business?
Nope.
Any other business?
No.
Okay, our next regular meeting will be Wednesday, April 23rd, 2014 at 4:30 p.m. And we do have a special meeting on the 15th of this month at 12 noon. That concludes our business for today. I entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes.
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes.
Thank you.
City of East Chicago Board of Public Safety is now going to begin meeting. If we could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'd like to begin with the fire and then police departments, and then we will go to the building department, which is the issue that many of you are here about different building structures. So we'd like to invite Deputy Chief Aburto to come forward.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the board.
If we could begin by doing a roll call and then accepting our minutes, it'd just take 1 minute to
thing.
do that.
Sure. Richard Morrisroe.
Present?
Thomas Davis.
Present.
Richard Tremzinski.
Present.
And we then have the, we also have a release of lien issue. It was a property that, a lien of about $170 approximately, and that has been paid. We've had that certified to us by the we have it here. The property is located 4733 Kennedy. The lien was $191. That lien has been fully satisfied, And I would like to entertain a motion, if we could, Carlos, just 1 second.
Sure.
To accept that and to execute the release of lien with your authorization. Motion,
Motion to accept.
Second the motion.
roll call,
Richard Morrisroe,
accept.
Thomas Davis,
Accept.
Richard Chemzinski.
Accept.
May I execute this one? Is there? No. Soy Francisco. Deputy Chief Aborto.
Thank you. I'm here today to submit all reports from the East Chicago Fire Department for the month of March, and here to entertain any questions about those reports.
I had a couple of speculative questions about the training. I will defer those until our next opportunity.
Very well, sir.
Anything else?
No, I have no question, Chief.
No.
Entertain a motion to accept the reports, the absentee report, Fire Prevention Bureau report, training report, and equipment report, all for March of 2014.
Make the motion to accept.
Second it.
Roll call,
Richard Morrisroe,
accept.
Thomas Davis,
Accept.
Richard Chemzinski.
Accept.
Thank you very much, Chief.
Thank you.
Appreciate your being here.
You're welcome.
Mr. John Verbic, while not on the agenda, is here about the police election for the Police Civil Service Board, the election to take place tomorrow. We have 4 candidates, and we had said at our last meeting that in the event of 3 or more candidates, that if one candidate fails to get the majority of those voting, not those eligible, but those voting, that there would be a runoff election, and we have, would 1 week from tomorrow be okay to do that in the event that someone has not won a majority? If there is a majority, then it's all over.
Yeah, so I think Thursday, April 17th would work fine. So I recommend that that's the date to be set by the Board of Safety.
Is there anything else you wanted to bring to our attention?
The sample ballots, so you could just...
We have copies of those,
Okay.
and we could announce the candidates. Our candidates are William Pabe, Richard Medina, Idelfonso Briones, who I think is already on the board, is he not?
He's a sitting member, yes.
And Silver Sanders. And those, our police department, the sworn officers will be voting between 7 tomorrow morning and 5 tomorrow afternoon. If they have a majority, that person will assume the 5th seat on the Police Civil Service Commission. In the event, however, there's not a majority, there will be a runoff between the 2 highest candidates to be held a week from tomorrow.
Correct.
We'll put that, I put that in the form of a motion.
I'll second the motion.
Roll call,
Richard Morrisroe,
accept.
Thomas Davis,
Accept.
Richard Chemzinski.
Accept.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Chief Burrich. We appreciate your being here.
Okay, that.
If we could, Mr. Smith, you may bring your box right up here. We're ready. Thank you, Mr. Ready for you, and we finished the other minor items.
All right, we were just dealing with some folks in the hallway. And I think Ms. Guzman.
Now, the ones you have had a chance to talk to and have come forward to do that, those that you have not, at the end, we can have them identify themselves and take those, perhaps the next ones.
The people that we did speak to that we can resolve rather quickly, I would start out with 1811 Broadway. We spoke with Mr. Noda, who has no objection to the order of demolition being affirmed by the board as presented to it. He is intending to donate the property, and we'll work on that in the meantime, but he has no objection to the order being entered, so we would request the board enter the order and findings as presented and affirm the demolition, 1811 Broadway.
And NODA is N-O-D or N-O-T-A?
NODA, but I just found out that there's someone here from the bank.
I'm sorry, we thought the property was represented. You're welcome. Just identify yourself and to say what you feel you should.
I'm attorney Tracy Coons, represent the Bank of New York Mellon. The bank does not currently own the property. However, they were entertaining the idea of getting an estimate of the amount to repair the property, since they do have a pretty significant judgment lien against the property. I talked to Bank of America today, which is the servicer for the Bank of New York Mellon. They currently are in the process of obtaining the bid amount to repair. I told them that it was urgent because of the state of the property. They said they could have all this information by tomorrow. I know the hearing was today. That doesn't really help much.
Well, Mr. Smith will entertain. Mr. Smith, if you could.
Here's the problem, Board. The condition of the property is such that it has been boarded up and vacant for a substantial amount of time. Actually, it's so bad that the boarded up part has been broken through. And our concern, again, of course, there's several houses on Broadway that are up for today, especially in the 1800 block, is that a continuance of this hearing really does no good for the city.
Well, may we enter and give it an additional time period?
Yeah, so what our position would be on something like this, to allow the bank time to present us a potential rehabilitation agreement.
Usually you're looking for 30 days, correct?
That's correct.
However, 60 with that?
Well, Mr. Marceau, if I could, I just want to, our suggestion would be to allow the board to enter and affirm the order, to stay any action on the order for 60 days, to allow the bank to present any proposal they would have for rehabilitation. And that way, if the bank fails in their obligation, or they decide they just want to get rid of it because of the condition of it, then at least we have an order of demolition and we're not delaying the demolition of this property.
Where does that leave Mr. Noda?
Mr. Noda, I believe, is fine with whatever.
Is he
put his hands up and said, I want to donate it, the bank may not, it's up to the bank, I've given up on the property, and I told the bank that.
But he's here, or?
No, he left. He left. He has no objection to the entering of the order.
We could agree to that.
Okay, so if we could just then affirm the order, we will stay any action on the order for 60 days to allow the Bank of New York Mellon to present either a rehabilitation plan, or they will indicate that they are not interested in rehabbing the property, and we'll move forward on the demolition.
In staying it for 60 days, you'll begin again the 30-day clock at that time?
At 60 days, I would assume that Ms. Coons and us will come back and we'll
be able to present something.
If there's a rehab agreement, we will enter that. We'll give it to the board well before the 60 days is up.
Is agreeable?
Agreed.
Let's simply put that in the form of a motion that the property at 1811 Broadway, we're to enter the demolition order, but to stay the execution of that order for 60 days in order to give the Bank of New York Mellon the opportunity to enter a rehab or other plan that would be acceptable to the building department. Second for that motion?
I second that motion. Yeah.
Roll call?
Richard Morrisroe,
Accept?
Thomas Davis,
Accept it.
Richard Chemzinski.
Accept.
Next, for the board.
Thank you very much.
The next property that we have is 1815 Broadway, the next door neighbor of 1811. And I spoke with Mr. Noda, who was here along with the Colognes, and they intend to donate the property to the city and have no objection to the board affirming the order of demolition.
1815.
1815.
Is that the same, Mr. Noda?
It is. He was just their financial advisor, he was their representative.
They own both properties?
Mr. Noda owns 1811 himself. In 1815, he was here with the Colognes, and they've indicated that they'd like to donate the property to the city, have no objection to the order being entered.
Do you want us to move on that 30-day?
Yes, move on and affirm the order of demolition. Would be the
Want to
motion.
make that motion?
I so move on that order for 30 days.
Second the motion.
Roll call.
Richard Morrisroe,
Affirm.
Thomas Davis,
I'm fine with that.
Richard Chumzinski.
Affirm.
Mr. Moore, so the next property is 3843 Guthrie. Mr. Kovachkov is here on behalf of one of the lien holders, and I believe we have an agreement that I'm put on the record.
3843 Guthrie?
Mm-hmm.
Just to introduce yourself and
My name is Doug Kovachkov. I represent the Conquest Real Estate Investment.
And so for the board's pleasure, the agreement would be that the owners have agreed to donate the property to the city. They have no objection to the order being affirmed by the board tonight, and that there would be a status in 60 days, which is the June, Chris, what is that date, 25th, June 25th?
so we're again entering the order but deferring its execution for the 60 days.
That's correct, it's to allow donation of the property by warranty deed.
Move to that.
Before you move,
Yes.
I'd like to add that
No, that's why you're here.
Conquest is not here as the owner. They're here to object to the deed that was recorded. The owners of the property that we believe is New Starlight Baptist Church.
Is someone here from New Starlight?
They've
I had a
also-
ribbon right there.
Reverend, just introduce yourself. I think you've been here before. Could you?
Pastor Frazier, New Starlight Missionary Baptist Church.
Yes, Pastor Frazier. Have you had a chance to speak to Mr. Smith?
Correct.
And what is your position on this?
Well, we decided to we agreed with them to donate it to the city, and
I remember you had great hopes that perhaps there might be an alternative, but it doesn't seem to have happened.
we realized how bad a shape the building was in, and it take a whole lot of money to renovate the building, so.
The gift wasn't all it seemed to be.
Correct.
And we appreciate the pastor and Mr. Kovachkov allowing the property to come down and to donate it to the city. We believe it's a fair resolution.
Entertain a motion then that the order for 30-day demolition be entered, but be stayed for 60 days to effect the transition from the current owners to the city.
I so move on that order.
I second the motion.
Roll call.
Richard Morrisroe,
Accept.
Thomas Davis,
Accept.
Richard Chumzinski.
Accept.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Reverend.
I believe the last property that we know of that people were here, that we talked to before the hearing, is 1360 Broadway. We have Lisa Peloge here, and she's the tax sale purchaser on the commissioner's sale that occurred on March 19th, I believe. And she just, we had an opportunity to meet with her prior.
And I've had a brief opportunity to discuss this with her before.
Okay.
Welcome.
And I believe what we're going to try to do, because they do have potential plans for the property, obviously because they're not entitled yet and they just bought the property at tax sale, her estimation is 6 months. My estimation is probably more 9 to 12 to get the tax deed. Our concern is we have some zoning concerns on the use they want. I mean, it sounds like they have high hopes for the property, but they are going to have to go through a process of both obtaining title through the tax deed and potential zoning petitions with the Plan Commission and the zoning board. So at this point, I believe our position is to enter the order. And as far as action, Ms. Guzman, how do you want to proceed on that? Did you want to stay it, or did you want to just enter it?
Just want to enter.
Okay, so the city's position is to to affirm the demolition order. And
I would, based on what you've said in terms of options, I think it's not unfair to at least ask for 3 months and then some kind of status as to what's happening. In that it hasn't been finalized. it's not one of our falling apart structures. It's more of a zoning problem than it is of a structural problem.
Yeah, I'm afraid that in 3 months, the situation will be that, because of Ms. Pelosi's situation, they're going to say, well, we're sending the notices out, we're trying to get the notices for the tax deed, and I guess if they're moving along.
Well, I think we should perhaps then hinge it on the zoning use, whether the use is to be, she's spoken in terms of automobile repair kinds of use, which I've told her is very difficult and has been denied to previous petitioners for that corner. On the other hand, if she may have some other plan by that time, I think she should at least be allowed to present it and be given those 90 days.
All right, then the 90-day date, and so if I understand the board right, you're saying that you'll affirm the order but stay at 90 days.
Correct.
For status.
Correct.
Pardon me, that'd be fine, Your Honor. Mr. Morris.
So that'll be our motion then, that we enter the order of 30-day demolition, but the order be stayed for 90 days. Do we have a calendar to, it'll be the second Wednesday in July. The fourth, I'm sorry, will it probably be the fourth Wednesday then, or the second? Usually, Commissioner, we'd usually be dealing with the second meeting of the month. Would we not? So we'd be talking about the 23rd of July, and that would be defer. We'd expect you to come back. And again, we'd like the record to show that we're not simply talking about perfecting the tax sale, but some kind of plan agreeable to you, acceptable to the city. And it's a nice corner.
Right.
But
July 23rd then. And the order be affirmed, but status date July 23rd.
Correct.
No action to be taken by the city.
Correct. Any, one second that.
I'll second the motion.
Roll call?
Richard Morrisroe,
Accept?
Thomas Davis,
Accepted.
Richard Chemzinski.
Accept.
Thank you for being here, and hopefully you'll have some opportunities.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I think someone's here from 531. Is it Columbus? 531 Columbus Drive. This is, oh, do we have your name?
Yeah, I'm Daisy Griffith.
This is the former Daisy app.
Yes.
Daisy, are you now on Todd still, or?
Yeah, I've still got them all, but I've been going back and forth to Kentucky with my cancer, but I'm doing a lot better.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Nice to have you.
Thank you.
Kevin?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes. The condition of the property is such that the city's position is that the demolition should be affirmed. There's concern about structurally the side of the building, and there's really no plan for any rehabilitation. So unfortunately, as much as the city is aware of the sentimental value of the property to Ms. Griffith, that the unfortunate situation is that it really is of no current use, and the city's position is that we would like the board to affirm the demolition.
The fire was in 2013, though, not 2103.
You're right. We are not there yet. We're not to
Okay.
2103 yet.
And it's got a double wall there, and it's only one part of the roof cone, and it is not ready to fall down or anything. And I do have estimates on having it fixed. I'm at fault because I understood my letter to say that I had till the 9th to let.
Well, we won't tear it down today or tomorrow, but we will, I believe, I'll recommend we enter the order, but give you 60 days
Okay, because
to come forward with some kind of plan.
Somebody that said I had 2 contractors out there, and one took $4,000 of my money, and the other one said they had a permit. Then I talked to Witt and said, no, they didn't. But anyway, I have the guy that put the original roof there. He said right on the half of it that you could drive a semi-truck on it still yet. And anyone that's standing out there can see the original wall. It's got a double wall, brick wall, and it's by no means. I've had.
But can you live with 60 days, Ms. Griffith?
Thank you. Thank you.
We'd enter the order and just.
Thank you.
The city would object to 60. The building commissioner believes it's a dangerous situation, and we'd ask for 30.
Who are you in touch with about getting this done?
Oh, well, I have Solis, and then I have this here. This is the bid that took about $4,000.
Well, please show that to Mr. Smith.
Go with 30 days on it, man. Yeah.
Well, the next time you're going to be here is 45 days, though, is it not? You're going to be here the second Wednesday, the fourth Wednesday of May.
That's correct, Mr. Morris. So the next date is open until the 28th of May.
So we're really compromising 45 days approximately. And you're going to have to come up with something, Ms. Griffith, please.
I will.
Here's the problem, is
I
because
have
this
to
is a Class 1 structure,
Yes.
this all has to go downstate. It's not like something that can just come locally. The plans have to go downstate, everything has to be approved by the State Building Committee, so it's not something that can be done locally. She needs to make
Well,
sure.
but it's set for a year. I mean,
Yeah, I
why
agree.
not 45 more
Oh,
days?
yeah, I think we're fine with 4. I just wanted to make sure that she
You
understands,
want me to
because
go
it's
to-
Class
I have to
1.
go to Indianapolis now?
I would just mention to your contractor, and they'll know.
The approval for the renovation does not come from the city building department because it's commercial property. They issue permits to your contractor, but it has to go to the state for approval as a remedy that's acceptable to the state building commissioner.
Okay, okay.
So you got a clock running. Now we are going to enter the order today.
Tomorrow morning, I'll start on it. I'll go to Indianapolis.
No, you don't run to Indianapolis. Make sure you got your people who are not only going to give you an estimate, but who are going to do the work.
Okay.
And they're going to submit it in writing because it's a commercial building. It's going to have to be done in a professional manner. It can't be done on the back of an envelope,
Yeah.
as some of our contractors are very equipped at doing.
So enter the order, May 28th status, but
Correct.
we will enter the order and move forward.
Okay, so when am I supposed to come back here?
May 28th. And hopefully by that time you'll have.
Please get to the building commissioner. Get all this resolved within 2 weeks, and you won't even have to worry about us.
Okay, I'll do whatever she tells me I can do.
Just have your contractor come in.
Okay. Okay, better.
Just have your contractor come in and talk with us.
That's all that.
Now, I believe there are others still here, even if you haven't had a chance to.
The Lincoln property.
Ms. Bowling, Attorney Bowling is here.
Yes, I am, Your Honor. Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm sorry? What?
Oh, did you affirm the order on Chicago Avenue?
We're doing it because we told her we were going to do it.
Columbus
The order,
Drive, I'm sorry.
we're talking about the back of the property, Columbus Drive, 531.
Yes.
And whether we've done it, we're going to do it again to make sure it's done properly. Entertain a motion to enter the order for demolition within 30 days, however, to stay the order for a 45-day status on May 23rd, May 28th.
I so move on this order.
The motion.
Roll call.
Richard Morrisroe,
Affirm.
Thomas Davis,
Affirm.
Richard Tremzinski.
Affirm.
And thank you for pointing that out to us. Ms. Bowling?
Yes, Commissioners, I'm here on behalf of the Harbor Realty Group, who are the owners of the 3405 Lincoln property located at that address. Haven't had a chance to speak with Attorney Smith. However, my clients are asking for a continuance of this hearing to give themselves an opportunity to go and have the building appraised, to go in and assess what's the structure, what needs to happen with respect to that building, so that they can make an informed decision with respect to demolition or repair or whatever they need to do going forward. I think so far that the delay that has occurred in them being able to do that, certainly with the stressful winter that we had, and one of the partners losing his wife just at the end of February, has delayed them from moving forward, but they are ready to do that now.
Mr. Smith?
Yes, Mr. Mercer, there are some serious concerns about the building. I understand that the owners want some time. I mean, as probably this board is aware, we had a substantial collapse of part of the wall, which resulted in some property damage to a vehicle. And the
Ms. Bowling and I have met on this matter before. We're aware there are a lot of unfinished matters about it. I would like to consider entering the order, but giving time, not executing it, in that they've had quite a bit of time in which they haven't even authorized or spoken with anybody. I mean, the death occurred long after we were trying to get something done with this building.
Certainly, Your Honor, but we had been in conversations with the city, and we had asked the city for a decision with respect to them acquiring the property, which had been some discussions a few years prior to all of this occurring, which they had expressed an interest. And we had contacted the city to find out if that was still an interest of theirs. So we had been waiting for them to get back with us on a response, and they haven't, but yet and still the whole process has continued to move forward. So at this point, I think we recognize that maybe no response is the actual response. And so given that,
my understanding, and it's not within the parameters of what you or Mr. Smith have presented, but that the request, the last request of your clients was rather large. It was almost pre-accident, almost the same amount they were asking for before all of this happened.
I understand, but again, there has not been, usually there's a negotiation, you know, you make an offer, somebody counters it. We have not gotten anything, not even to say that, yes, we are interested in it, but, you know, we need you to, you know, to adjust it or for them to give us a figure. That has not happened.
Let me ask Mr. Smith, if I may. We would like to go ahead and recommend at least consider, the three of us, to consider the order to demolish, but what kind of time can we give both for positive plan and/or negotiation that you can live with?
I guess we just need to find out what, I know that Attorney Foley just mentioned that she was they want to hire appraisers.
Yes.
And what is the ultimate goal of the owners? To sell it, to demolish it themselves, to rehab it, to...
And I think right now, without having gone back in there, you know, given the amount of time from the time, and they've certainly acted responsibly toward that property. They boarded it up immediately when the tenants moved out. They have maintained the grass and around it. So, you know, they didn't just walk away. So they have been maintaining it so that they can make sure that their options are open. But certainly all of those things are on the table. They've been in business for a long time at that location. And again, they've been good citizens with respect to that. So there's a point where, you know, we need to, you know, walk away, or if we haven't reached that kind of a point, to where we can then move forward and make it viable again, once again.
I think then, you know, because it's such a, in the city's opinion, a property that it wants to keep moving forward, we'd like to, you know, have reports from the owners every 30 days, but we'd like to enter the order, and then at some point we're going to request to move forward on the order.
So, and we certainly object with an order being entered at this point, but we have no problems with providing reports to you in 30 days, you know, at 30-day increments. And then I guess there's nothing to...
Don't you think it would help to have some kind of hammer accentuating the program rather than simply asking for more days like is done in the city court quite regularly and nothing ever happens?
Well, I think that the hammer exists. You at any time, you know, if not at this meeting, if there's another date set forth, then at that point the decision will be made to enter an order.
But so far we have no clue of any intention to rehab the building. The discussion is how much to change the ownership and how much to demolish it.
And how much to repair it as well.
Well, I don't think the city does the city believe it's reparable?
Well, we did ask for a structural analysis on the building at the time.
Have you gotten that?
No, I have not.
I mean, have we asked them to do it, or we've
Yes, the
asked?
owners, yes. That was way back. We did, I believe we submitted a letter, have to pull it out. I mean, our file is very extensive, as you can see. Yeah, it's been quite some time since this occurred, and we haven't, I haven't, no one's approached the building department in reference to it.
And, you know, and I believe that structural analysis, I'm not sure how in-depth it was done. And one of the things I guess that I can say to you is that even given the severity of this past winter, there has never even been an allegation that not another single brick has fallen from the initial damage that occurred. So that, you know, also speaks to the fact that it may not be as structurally unsound as one might have thought at the beginning when that damage occurred.
Well, we don't know the roof condition. You know, we haven't been in the building since that date, so you know, there's a lot of issues that may have occurred since that time.
That's true, and that's exactly the owner's position as well. That, like I said, they boarded up, make sure that it was secure, didn't have any problems with vandalism, but they haven't been in it either. You know, and again, you know, in fairness, they couldn't go in there until about now. You know, finally the weather has broken. So,
Ms. Guzman, do you have some photos of this building? The board, man, take a look at.
Do you want us to?
Richard, do you have any seen this?
I would also note to the board that there is a.
I don't have one, but let me write my.
Special assessment lien that exists on the property from the city in the amount of $41,356.53, as well as the fact that there were over 100 citations issued back in 2012 on the property.
They had a whole year to go in that building.
These are approximately more than a year and a half.
Yeah.
12, it's 2 years, yeah.
Demolition, just give them 90 days for. Mr. Smith, Ms. Bowling, would you come forward?
Sure. Yeah.
We're in time, into the order. I talked about 90 days, taking over 60 days to come up with something. I mean, if they're showing something in good faith, I'm sure it would be subject to some kind of discussion at that point. But frankly, it's almost 2 years it's going on. About 21 months with nothing happening. All I've heard is, give us $1 million, we can have it.
The city never even came
Well, I think that when they were asked for that much, they simply said, we're going nowhere. What are they supposed to say, well, give us $500,000? You can.
Thank you, Doc.
Well, I can't speak to that. That's why we want the 60 days. And I'm sure if there's positive steps taken, that can be subject to.
The reality of the matter is that even if the order is entered today, okay, the cost of demolition is so substantial, the city's going to have to fight. It's not like they can just turn around and take the demolition. So I mean, the practical reality is it's going to be some time before any action is entered. And so that should give you some time to at least, have your folks get appraisals, present potential remedies to the city.
Would it be also?
We meet every 2 weeks, but the housing matters are usually the second Wednesday, the fourth Wednesday of the month. That's what we were talking about before. So May 28th or June 25th. We could do June 25th. That'd be 2.5 months.
Would it be fair to stay the order for 90 days because
yeah, I mean, during the 90 days.
Consulting with several contractors to see if
Should we do it then? It'll either be 75 days or 105 days.
June 25th would be 75 days. during that time, the city would, they'd probably bid it out, but they're not going to permit it to be knocked down. But at least that way we have an order, because the order is good for 2 years at least.
But I guess my concern is that you get this order without them having, you may not even need the order. They go in there and see if there's, this is going to cost them something.
Well, that's
They
why.
may be in a position to, at that point, say, well, we don't donate it to the city.
Perfect, and then if that's the case and the city wants it, then that's great, because, but as Mr. Morrison pointed out, the hammer is the order. Because then at least, see, because if we don't enter the order, then we come back in 2 months, nothing's done. We don't have an order, back to start, we're back to
We'd rather give you the time after the order to enter. In other words, if possible, maybe even the July date that we gave to one other.
Yeah.
And that gives plenty of time. I mean, it's 3.5 months.
Sure.
Okay. I don't want to, okay, what's that?
It's over your objection.
That's right.
If we may, the motion is going to be to enter the order for 30-day demolition, but to stay that order until the fourth Wednesday in July, which I believe we have one other matter.
23rd.
July 23rd.
Okay.
And this is over objection of counsel for the respondent.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And any way in which the building department or any other department can be of help to move it along, we offer that service.
Okay, thank you.
Now, we had some others who were here. I recognize one lady who was here very early. So, Mr. Smith, please.
Sorry.
Oh, let's make a motion to complete the matter of the Lincoln apartment.
I so move to accept.
I second the motion.
Roll call.
Richard Morrisroe,
Accept.
Thomas Davis,
Accept.
Richard Chemzinski.
Accept.
Now, have you?
3844 Guthrie. This is the former Kathy's Diner, and the city's position is to move forward.
I'm sorry, your family together. I just wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, she's
Mahone,
ready. Yeah, she's there.
You're welcome to. No,
We get your name?
Mike Charlene
Charlene
Mahone, Mahone.
Mahone, okay. All right, and are you the owner?
Susanna Corporation, yes.
What is it?
Susanna Corporation, yes.
Mr. Marshall, it's the city and the board, it's the city's position that due to the boarded up nature of the building, the deteriorating roof, and the issues on the east side of the building, gutters, that the board would enter the order and stay the order, provided that the owner is allowed a certain amount of time to bring the premises up to code. We do have information from the owner, P&S Construction.
Yes.
Applied for a permit on the 7th, which was just 2 days ago. And Ms. Guzman has spoke with the owner and noted her intention to open a restaurant-type business, which is Zone C1.
Yes.
Ms. Mahone?
Yes.
Is that acceptable to you?
Okay, if you repeat what basically.
Mr. Smith?
I thought you were just reading.
That's
Tell me
okay. I'm sorry. Okay.
I'm sorry. I just couldn't understand.
Ms. Guzman spoke with you regarding
Yes,
intentions of
yes.
the property, and it's her, if you would agree, it would be the city's position that we would enter the demolition order today, but that it would be stayed and nothing would happen, provided that you enter an agreement with the city regarding your rehabilitation of it, give you time to do that, finish up the rehabilitation. As long as you keep moving along and get things done, then nothing's going to happen to the building. If for some reason you don't follow through with your obligation, the city could then demolish the structure.
Okay, and what
So
kind of,
we would enter the order today, and we would stay it for a 60-day period. And in June, Ms. Guzman would come back, and you would come back, and we'd both give our update to the board as to what's going on. So as long as they start moving and start building, and things start moving along, everything should be fine.
okay, well, that's the contractor. He's been hired to do, okay.
Welcome.
Well, then he knows what his responsibilities are, I think,
Well,
right?
yeah, we have a signed, we have a signed contract. He has our money, and we've been ready to go. It's just the weather is what kept us from doing a lot of things.
That's fine.
And the primary condition of the building is in excellent condition, other than we knew we had to have a roof put on it, but they couldn't go up there until the weather cleared. So that's what immediately, that's what we started proceeding to do that, and then he was.
That's the permit that was applied for.
Pardon me?
That's the permit that was applied for this week.
Yes, because the weather had cleared up. Yes, he applied. You applied for the permit, and I did talk with Ms. Guzman on yesterday. However, the building's in excellent condition inside. There's no rehabbing to be done because we bought this on the tax sale. It was already, Kathy's Diner had already rehabbed it inside that building. So the only thing that needs now is that roof, the electrical, which we have a contractor scheduled for that. He is applying for a permit or whatever, a license for the city of East Chicago to operate in the, to do the work here in East Chicago. So other than that, we've been ready to go.
And so we're talking about the June date, which is again June
25th.
And we'll put that in form of a motion that the order to demolish will be entered. However, that order will be stayed pending the time between now and June 25th, when hopefully most of the work will have been done or will be substantially done, and the demolition order will not be required. Yes, just to come forward, identify yourself.
Because I've got pictures.
My name is Terrence, I'm a representative of PNS Construction. As she stated, there's a minor rehab in the inside along with the roof, so there's some painting, some drywall repair, things of that nature. So there will be some interior and exterior repair, and that's what we applied for the permit.
Ms. Guzman, you're aware of that?
Yes, I do have. It was brought, actually I met him at the door and I handed it to me directly.
Very good. So that, and so this is acceptable then to the city?
It is, yeah. Assuming that, like, Terrence, you understand that, you believe the June 25th date, you'll be moving along, and, okay, so yeah, we'll look forward to seeing what it looks like on June 25th.
Anyone to?
You know I got a puzzle. You know I'm puzzled.
You seem to be a bit confused. I just want to make sure you understand everything that's going on.
I'm understanding, but what I'm not understanding why it was put. Okay, they tell me sometime just to back up, but seriously, everyone knows me. I just have, it's in me, I have to ask that question, because it was not a building that needed to be demolished, period. Now, and it wasn't a building that now as far as the cosmetics, that part with the roof, no problem. But to say to demolish this building, it's a brick structure, I have all the pictures, okay? It appraised at $100 and some thousand, if we believe in appraisal, because that's how some of us buy properties. But other than that, this is, the building's not. Inside, I've got inside, the windows, we knew they were boarded up because they had, this is before we purchased the property. Okay, I mean, before we were able to get the deeds on the property, they had broke the windows out, and I did, you and I had talked about that.
And I can potentially answer that. I mean,
yeah, that was just your answer.
The order that we're asking for is to repair or demolish, so it kind of covers both. And if the structure lies vacant and the structure is boarded up, the city wants to see something done with it. Okay. And if nobody's going to make the effort to do anything with it, then they'd like to see it knocked down because it just becomes problematic over time. The good thing here is that you are willing to potentially do something with it. So yeah. I think that's good for everything. The city now knows that there's a plan in place, and it can hopefully in June you'll say it's looking great, and then it will be I'm sure the building commissioner's position that it comes off the demolition list. But this allows us at least to monitor it and to monitor vacant and boarded up structures in the city.
Okay, but I was told to board it up. That's what they wanted, rather than have the windows they would break it out the windows over there, and we asked about police protection. But either way, so when you say demolition, I mean, if I'm agreeing to that, which at this point I don't, then we're talking about a whole different conversation.
We're talking about
the order that's being entered today is to repair and or demolish.
Okay, and
Smith just explained.
Okay.
So you've come forward and you intend to repair the structure.
There's no question
So
yet.
you'll need to stay in touch with the building commissioner so that you come up with, or you do repairs that are agreeable to the city. And I'm sure you'll do a fine job of that with your contractor that's here. Yes. But you'll need to stay in touch with her.
No problem. We have no problem.
Photos of whatever you're doing.
But I've been in contact with you guys.
Okay. All we're saying is you got to keep in touch.
We have. I just.
Let it come on.
I've got a tenant. We had a tenant. They applied for their, everything. We've done this on the latter part of the year, and I just, okay.
I don't want to say something.
I just want to know,
if it's possible, we could keep the boards on there because the glass does cost a lot and they have broken before. So is it possible, even though while they're doing the construction, they can get in and out? You know, it's just a board they can, I just don't want the glass broke anymore. Is that okay?
Well, we'll assess it. We'll go, once we make an appointment and we come together, we'll go and we'll talk about that and see where it's at now. Where the window's broken, you know, things like that, and they can easily gain, access gain. So we'll address that with you.
Okay.
We'll consider it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you. So what is the order now? Give me that again.
June 25th. Come back
June
June
25th.
25th and
Okay.
let us know what the progress is.
Motion is to enter an order to demolish within 30 days, however, to stay the execution of that order until June 25th, pending the opportunity to substantially rehab the structure.
I so move on that order.
I second the motion.
Roll call.
Richard Morrisroe,
Abstain.
Thomas Davis,
Accept.
Richard Chemzinski.
Accept.
The next property, I believe Ms. Powell's here for 3902 Grand for a status. Just to set the record to the board, this property was originally before this board back in, I believe, May of 13. It was up. Ms. Powell requested more time to have the exterior renovated. It was to be completed by July 27th of 13. On July 22nd, she reported to the board that she was in the process of removing debris and awaiting the entire scope of the work, waiting for contractors, et cetera. As of March 12th of 2014, the building department has reported out no activity at the property, and there have been no permits issued yet. And so it would be our position, because of no activity, this was first before the board well over, almost, I think about a year ago, not more.
I remember, Ms. Powell's been very devout in coming here quite regularly.
Giving the reports.
Yes, and so what we'd like to do is just a status from Ms. Powell, and we want it brought up to code within the specified period of time so that we have a tighter time frame, hopefully.
Specific, what time frame you, I'll put it like this. I would like the same type of courtesy and opportunity to work on this building, because I'm being diligent in it, as I see the Grand Boulevard Library building being worked on. But I have here my contractor for the roofing would have gotten started last week, but I had to go out of town. I just got back actually today. And I do have a breakdown of the outside work that he will be doing on the building starting in 2 weeks. He's got to come down and pull permits. He's going to start first with the roofing.
Is this a contract, or?
This is our proposed contract. It's in both Spanish and English, because he's...
Can you show that to Mr. Smith and to the building commissioner?
And we went back and forth on the things that are in highlight, because we have talked about different type of roof. He wanted to put down a tort-down roof, and that's not appropriate for that particular building. And I wanted it shingle, so I just highlighted some things in there that should be changed. Now, this is only for the outside of the building, starting with the roof in 2 weeks, and then going to the bricks. And I intend to have the special doors and windows provided by the specialty doors and windows people.
When is your deadline for that?
Getting all of the outside work done is, my deadline for that is at the end of September.
Commissioner, do you have? How much, may I ask, how much have you invested in the building since this began?
I would say roughly $10,000, because it costs right at $6,000 just to get just to clear out the inside. We had it professionally, demolition remover people come in just to move the trash and debris and everything else that was stored up in there, out of there. My contractor, Manuel Chalice, has went in and he's began to purchase the property, the roofing materials, so he can go in 2 weeks to start on the roofing.
Is that correct, Mr. Smith? That you said permits have not been applied for?
That's correct. Yeah, that's correct. And I think it's just
have you spoken with your contractor about that?
I told you that he would have applied for him, but I had to go out of town. We met 2 weeks. I went out of town Friday. We met a week before that last Friday. And I told him not to apply for anything until I come back, because I want to make certain that if there are some problems that are being going back and forth, then I'm going to be part of that conversation.
I mean, the concern of the city, and I think, you know, Ms. Paul, I know that she has good intentions, and I don't doubt that. This is an example of where, when the order's not entered, that we have, you know, we're a year later, and we're really no further along regarding substantial work on the property.
Well, I assume she, if I may, I assume she can show you the receipts for the $10,000 invested. I think it may be a matter of judgment, but $10,000 sounds pretty substantial to me.
In addition, he's talking about a year. It was the year to clear the title so I could get in on the property.
Well,
and a part
do you
of
mind
that,
coming back to see us on May 28th, Ms. Powell?
No, I do not.
And at that time, we'll consider entering the 30-day order very seriously if there's not been some substantial breakthrough.
No objection from the city.
All right, thank you.
Does that seem legal?
Because
to me.
Yeah, one thing for certain, before the snow came, I was going over, cutting down the debris, cutting up the grass, and moving things out, making certain that at least everything's kind of cleaned up. The only other thing that's been happening is that they've, as a result of the snow, and thank God it did warm up, they had snow piled high to the top of the garage, almost up against the property.
I would note, and just actually, Paul might want to know this as well, Tellus Construction is not a licensed contractor in the city of Chicago. The test for was on the fourth Thursday of the month, the 24th. I'm sorry, third Thursday. Next Thursday is the next exam.
Is it still time for Tellus to take that exam or to be replaced?
I don't know if he's working with additional contractors, but someone in the building department's been giving him permits and licenses to do my other roofing.
Okay.
And my
Is it that he was licensed last year or not this year?
Pardon me? I don't.
He's an employee of another company.
I don't know if he may be, but he's pulled the license and not me. And you allowed him to do the bricking.
This is a factual matter.
It's a factual. I got the permits and everything else. 1814 East 136th Street, he put down a torch down roofing on the flat building, and he tuck pointed that building complete. And that's almost like apartment. And I have copies of the license and the permit that was pulled on that. And that's why I said that I will use him, because I'm sure of his work and I know what he's doing. If somebody in your department is giving him those permits, I don't know, but he's pulling them. I do not
Being
pull them.
advised that today, that's something you may want to ask him about as well.
Well, that's why I put in my contracts that he is responsible for pulling the permits. And he comes there with your permits and your licenses. So it appears like if he's...
Again, it's something you may want to inquire with him about, whether he is licensed to do business in the city of East Chicago.
Ms. Powell, we wouldn't want to be back here in 45 days
No, but
finding out that this had been the issue.
No, but I'm trying to find out, you need to look at the, and you need to find out as to where he's getting it, okay? Because when he comes to me presenting it,
yes.
To me, he's proving.
A person could obtain a permit, and you've entered into a contract with him, and you said you have conditions in that contract that he be able to pull permits, being advised of, that he's not licensed. I mean, I'm just
I know, but
I think that was something that you would want to inquire about. Are you licensed to do business in the city of East
and
Chicago?
he tells me he is, and he comes with the license permit, so it appears like it's not mine, at my doorstep, it's at yours, because who's ever giving me this is an issue.
You've been told today that he's not, so.
At least try to verify it.
As you see fit, I guess.
I am going to have to, because okay, you want me to take the license he brings to me and bring it back down to you all? If you see what I'm saying.
Ms. Powell, we're not going to get into that. Please make sure it's taken care of.
Yeah.
It's not something we can take care of. It's between you and the building department.
And that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Right. They need to, right. I mean, isn't that fine to bring the building permit to me because it's saying.
Do we need, that's simply by agreement continued, or do we?
Status May 28th.
Okay.
Status, okay. Thank you.
The last property that we have someone here today on is 3702 Guthrie, and I believe that Mr. and Mrs. Chapman are here today. Come up if you want. This is Roosevelt and Dorita Chapman. We spoke with Mr. and Mrs. Chapman's attorneys, and they're in Chicago today, and they actually represent the lien holder on there's two houses here, a front house in which the Chapmans reside, and a rear house, which is the subject of the request for demolition.
The rear house is the subject for demolition?
Yeah, we're here about the rear only.
Okay.
Rear only. And that was the subject of our conversations with the attorneys in Chicago, which was they wanted to just make sure that the order reflected that both the Chapmans and the lien holders have no objection to the entering of the order of demolition, provided that it was only on the rear home.
And that's no problem for yourself, is it?
It's of no, not at all. We have no objection. I don't believe the Chapmans object to that. They've acknowledged the condition of it, and they.
Is it probably going to be demolished then?
Yes.
Okay. So would entertain a motion simply that we're discussing the rear property only of 3702 Guthrie, as stated on the title here, and that the 30-day order be entered for that property, and that the front is not part of this litigation, part of this citation. We thank you for coming and for clarifying this, and for having your attorney contact Mr. Smith.
Sure.
Yeah, and we'll let him know. We're going to get him a copy of the orders.
So we'll so move
That's so move on the real property.
on the rear property. Roll call.
Richard Morrisroe,
Accept.
Thomas Davis,
Accept.
Richard Chemzinski.
Accept.
Mr. Smith, can we deal with the other properties on Moss?
We can, I believe. The board, we would, as a joint motion, request the affirming of the orders and findings as presented for demolition of the following properties. Proper notice having been given under the Unsafe Building Act, and there being no one else present in the boardroom here today in the chambers, we would request those orders be affirmed. Those properties are 1915 Broadway, 2101-03 Broadway, 3812 Deodore, 3813 Deodore, 3902 Deodore, 4002 Elm, 3550.
May I ask, who owns the church, Ms. Guzman, the Assumption Church? Is the city expected to pay the cost of demolition?
Well, if they fail or refuse to comply.
But who owns it?
That would be Twin City Enterprises, LLC.
And who is Twin City Enterprises? Do we know?
I don't have any information on the members or the registered agent, although I can tell you who the registered agent is. Chris, can you pull that? People's Bank has a lien on the property. There's some tax warrants on the property. And Twin City Enterprises LLC is the...
And their registered agent?
appears to be David Pastrick.
Have there been any negotiations in terms of the cost of demolishing?
No, at this point, we don't have any bids yet. So what we'd like to do is at least get it out, have the order entered, affirmed. We can then move for bids, because the May 28th date is actually an open bid date, in which many of these properties you're hearing today will have, just as you did before here, or Board of Works does the bids, right?
Continue with the list.
Yep. 30, well, that one's going to be...
That was 4002 Elm,
Yes, it was.
3550, 56 Guthrie.
3550, 56 Guthrie actually is going to be subject to another motion. So we're going to skip over that one. 3764 Guthrie. And that would conclude the list of properties that we would like the board to affirm the order, no one being present and proper notice having been given.
Entertain a motion that those be set for 30-day demolition. The properties cited and enumerated by Attorney Smith.
I shall move on those orders.
Second the motion.
Roll call.
Richard Morrisroe,
Accept.
Thomas Davis,
Accept.
Richard Chemzinski.
Accept.
The last
3550, 56 Guthrie.
Yes, the owners of this property, the Austin family, have been in contact or are about to be in contact with Ms. Becerra at redevelopment, and there is a potential negotiation and resolution to that property. So we would.
Is this the same Griffith family that had a lien removed today? The same Austin family?
That I don't.
Is it a Griffith-based realtor?
It's a Griffith-based family. I'm not sure if it's a Griffith-based realtor.
There is a realtor, Austgen. There is a realtor of that name on Main Street in Griffith.
This is the Austin family actually owns it, so I'm not sure if it has anything to do with the realtor or not.
Okay. Well, you'll find out for us.
Yes, we will. So we would request the June date for a status on that one. That'll be set over for June 25th.
Entertain that as a motion.
I second it.
Roll call.
Richard Morrisroe,
Accept.
Thomas Davis,
Accept.
Richard Chemzinski.
Accept.
That concludes the matters for demolition by the East Chicago Building Department. Thank you.
Agenda.
We swear it's on tonight, come on.
We would also reset our next meeting for the 23rd. Is there any other business to come before the board, Madam Secretary?
No, there is not.
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
I so move.
I second the motion.
Roll call.
Richard Morrisroe,
Adjourn.
Thomas Davis,
Adjourn.
Richard Chemzinski.
Adjourn.
Thank you very much for your cooperation, ladies and gentlemen. And